Hi everyone, and welcome to the Aquarius May 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance, or more simply put, to better find where you fit. Hi and welcome everyone. So for those of you who are returning, thank you so much. Your support is greatly appreciated. And for those of you who are new, I'll go into what this reading is meant to illuminate. So we're going to be looking at first, pulling some cards here to take a look at what's going on with your internal energy, what you're bringing to the month of May. Then I'm going to be looking at your external energy, what's going on around you in your environment. And then we're looking at the challenge that Spirit or God or the universe, however you choose to explain the beyond, is asking you to face and overcome this month so that you can better unlock something about your unique self that will allow you to better see your personal path and purpose and how you are meant to be important to the greater collective experience. So Aquarius, right off the bat, I'm going to say these are some very positive cards. So first of all, I'll be pulling additional cards here, clarifiers and such, but I also wanted to say too that this reading does have an extended this month. If you would like to watch the extended after this, you can click on the Vimeo link in the description box below. All right, so Aquarius, you are bringing in a beautiful energy. The Knight of Cups is the energy of the, I like to say, the hopeful romantic. This is wearing your heart on your sleeve and getting ready to greet life with the romantic optimism that I think sometimes we can get stuck away from. What does that mean? That means that sometimes we can get into that place where we're fearful or we're stressed and we forget that the beauty of life is the romantic adventure that it is. And I feel like you guys are really stepping into that place. You're really owning that optimistic emotional side to yourself, Aquarius. And what's interesting is that, Aquarius, you are an air sign, yes, but your sign actually symbolizes the water bearer. So in a way, yes, you are ascended air, but you also have this beautiful ability to kind of hold your cup of emotion as well. You hold that for all of us. And that's really what I'm seeing kind of mirrored here with the Knight of Cups. Now in your external environment, this is a great a great energy to have surrounding the Knight of Cups, which is the Three of Cups. This is one of celebration. This is one of people who are coming together who are, it's almost like you're joining the party, Aquarius. I feel like maybe perhaps up to this point, maybe you've been holding yourself back a little bit, but there's a feeling in May of fun, of coming out, of allowing yourself to connect in a way maybe that you haven't done in quite a while, which is just in a fun, frivolous, again, hopeful and optimistic way. And why are you being asked to really lean into this romantic optimism that you're feeling bubbling up inside of you and to connect that with others in your environment? Because it's going to help you get your head and your heart in alignment so that you can start to move towards your final destination. That's really what the Chariot's about. Now the Chariot can also denote movement, it can denote actual travel, but it ultimately boils down to aligning your head and your heart so that you can get into the Chariot seat and start to make that movement towards your final destination. And what does that mean? The final destination is ultimately what feels like home for you. It's that feeling of if you opened the door to what would make you feel like, I've arrived. That's whatever's behind that door for you. That's what this Chariot is taking you towards. So that's really what Spirit, the challenge that you're being asked, and we'll take a look at what that challenge is. The challenge that you're being asked to face is really, I think your head may be in a place where you kind of are seeing a glimmer of what you want, or you know what you want, but your heart is the part of you that this month is going to take the lead. And I think by connecting with others, that's really going to allow you to say, oh, okay, this makes sense. All of these thoughts I've had, all of these ideas, all of this worry, all of this planning, finally I get to connect emotionally with the why. I get to enjoy myself. And that's what's going to allow you to say, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to make that forward gallop towards what I want. Beautiful energy, Aquarius. I'm just getting this very intuitively. We really haven't pulled that many cards here, but I get this really just fun, free energy. There's an element of, I think, maybe being comfortable with yourself, and I'm really leaning into that. Okay. And I think you're going to realize just how celebrated you are out there, how much people want to support you and share in your good fortune, share in this optimistic, fun, frivolous side of you. Okay, let's take a look now at the challenges that you're facing, or the blocks. And we'll go into how to overcome these. Okay, so we have the star, beautiful. That's your main challenge. And, the star is coming out quite a bit this month for a lot of the signs, because I think we're all getting to that point after moving out of Aries season and into Taurus season. We're moving out of the I am, and we're moving into the I have, I value. And that is really allowing us to clarify, okay, if this is who I am and this is what I want to have and this is what I value in life, it's almost like all of us are rediscovering our star. And what is the star card in the tarot? The star card is that great hope, dream, desire that you have within yourself that always is kind of that nagging guide, that point within you that you're always trying to achieve or fulfill. It's a beautiful energy to have. But when it comes up as a challenge point like this is when we can get to that place of, well, I see it, I feel it, but I'm too afraid to go out there and chase it. And a lot of times, and I'm getting the feeling, we look at like the Knight of Cups here, and he looks like he's ready to go out there and share his cup, share his emotions, go out on the adventure. And you think, okay, great, he's got this beautiful guiding star, everything's aligning. But this is when we can get to that point where it's like, but the last time I did this, it didn't work out. This would be like if, let's say, you were hurt in love previously, and now you're getting to that place where you're like, wow, I really want that relationship again. I really want to try again for that kind of experience. And you start to see that glimmer of hope, and you start to get excited about that. But then you go to like open the door and go out on the date that you have scheduled, and you're like, oh no, is that really for me? I don't know. I really don't know. Probably not. And you shut the door and you go back inside. And that's the biggest block that can stop you from going out here and being able to actually really connect with the fun and the support and those who want to actually help you achieve your star, help you reach that. The other part of the star card is that sometimes it can be an illusion that what we want is actually beyond ourselves, meaning that we don't realize that we hold within us all of the keys to unlocking that experience for ourselves. That let's say this is achieving that great, career path that you've always wanted, or this is the amazing partnership, the romantic partnership you've always wanted to experience. Now, we can sit there and say, well, it all hinges on external circumstances to us. It all hinges on, well, if that business calls me, takes a look at my resume and calls me back, or if a recruiter reaches out to me, or if the person on the dating app, I'll wait for them to write back to me or send me a message, or however they work on these dating apps nowadays. Instead of realizing that, no, you have within you the ability to set in place and take action towards achieving that. How is that a change in perspective? This is stating that you don't have to wait for the other person to come to you. You can start to take action towards putting yourself in environments where you get to meet others. It doesn't mean that, let's say you are looking for that romantic partnership, it doesn't mean that you always have to go to like a singles bar or always have to go to some type of singles networking event or something like that. This can be where you're like, okay, I really haven't gone out and been openly looking for another, but I'm going to start saying yes to these events with other people, maybe just friends of mine. And I'm going to put myself out there, and I'm going to start talking to my friends and talking to my family members and people that I know. And I'm going to say, I'm really looking for that person. I really want to try to have that experience again in my life. And you might be surprised that somebody might say, I have a friend who just happens to be single, and I think you guys would be a great fit. Or you might all happen to go someplace and somebody catches your eye as you're out and about. But it's almost like realizing again, the control is within yourself to start to get the wheels in motion to bring this thing into reality. It's almost like you have to realize that you get to hold your hand out and turn the door handle to the door that opens to your final destination. And it's a beautiful thing to experience. That power that comes from that knowledge of, wait, what I always thought was external to me is within my power to work towards. And anytime we start to work towards, we start to get our head and our heart in alignment to move towards something, we get that much closer to that beautiful, whatever feels like home for us. And on the other side of this, we have the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords is one of reflection, it's rest, it's being able to allow your mind to get to a state of ease where you get a chance to rediscover your truth that has been hidden behind the sharp swords, the wounds that others have placed on you and that you have adopted as part of your truth but are not. And I love this energy for you, Aquarius, because it means that you get a chance to kind of clear out the clutter in your own head, which again, that's what I'm feeling the most here, is that you're getting in touch with your emotions to clear out the clutter in your head and to realize there's only one truth in here, and that's my truth. It's not the truth of somebody who told me I wasn't lovable. It's not the truth of somebody who's been divorced twice and will never get married again. It's not the truth of somebody who has never found that deep calling career. It's not the truth of somebody who's not smart enough to do X, Y, and Z. It's, no, this is who I am. This is what I want, and my heart is calling me to it. At the heart of your reading, you have the moon, and this is what Spirit's asking you to embrace to help overcome this challenge and to really connect yourself with others openly, optimistically, vulnerably. Is the moon. So the moon it's an interesting card to have actually in this position, because it's one of a lack of clarity. It's one of being called forth out of a comfort zone and being asked if you can walk this new path on faith, if you can trust your own truth, if you can follow the light of your star, even in the dark of night. And why are you being asked to embrace that, to really be able to lean into getting your head and your heart in alignment and moving forward? It's because whatever this comfort zone you're being asked to leave, it's going to reawaken your ability to understand your own magic, to understand that you, again, have the power to reach your hand out, to turn that door handle, to open the door to what you want for yourself. You're the one that gets to play with all of the different parts of your reality. That's the beauty of the Magician card here, is that it's understanding that we have to work with the physical, we have to work with our mental, with our thoughts, we have to work with our emotions, and we have to work with our passion, and we have to blend that all together to achieve for ourselves that great hope that we want. It's almost like I'm getting this feeling, Aquarius, that you're realizing, oh shoot, I've been kind of standing here behind two horses wondering which one to get on, when I realized, wait, I don't have to choose between one or the other. I can build myself a chariot, and I can take both horses with me. I don't have to just choose my head or just choose my heart. I get to blend them both together. But I'm realizing the power lies within me coming up with an idea that's a little outside the box. It's interesting. Your reading is so intuitive, Aquarius, and getting so many interesting things coming through. But I'm really feeling that that's what this month is really going to highlight for you, a new way. It's basically taking a look at all that you have around you and realizing it's almost like the Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz kind of thing. It's like, I've always had the power to have this. I've always had the power to build this. I've been sitting here in limbo for so long, but look at all that I have. And now I just need to build the cart and take both horses with me. Your final point of challenge is the Two of Swords. And the Two of Swords is one where you're sitting at a place of indecision. It's two swords that look identical, two things, two truths that seem, two options that seem identical, and it's hard to choose which one is the better one. And that's what I get with the head and the heart. You're sitting here going, but now that I'm getting clarity as to what I want, getting clarity as to my own personal power, I'm getting clarity as to where I want to go, but maybe now I see that fork in the road and I could go this way or I could go that way. And the beauty of the Two of Swords is that I always look at it as it's a way for us to go within. It's coming right, and it's very interesting too. In this deck, these two cards, the women look very similar, right? They're both kind of looking down, very similar position. There's a feeling here of you're being forced to go within to find your star, to make that choice, to realize that yes, two things on the outside may look identical, but it's within your heart. It's tapping into your intuition that instinctually you'll know which way to go. You'll see the star in one or the other. And I think it's hard sometimes to admit that to ourselves, though. It's hard because that star may seem, again, unrealistic. It may seem like, well, here I am just being that hopeless romantic again, but I like to say hopeful, and I'm probably going to get hurt, and if I really choose this direction, are people going to make fun of me? Are people going to support me? Am I going to be left out in the cold kind of thing? And you're saying, no, it's a beautiful supportive energy around you right now, Aquarius. People want to celebrate with you. People want to welcome you. They want this. And you have every ability to get out there and just have fun. It doesn't have to be this big dramatic decision. It's just about making it and realizing you have all the power to make it. You have all the power to know which way you want to go and to build the chariot to take both your head and your heart together to one place. But you have to embrace that you may not fully know the way at this point, that you may feel within yourself what you want, and you may have thoughts that you're like, okay, the thoughts are clear as to how to build the wagon, how to build the chariot, but I can't quite see the road ahead. And that's why you're being asked to really lean into the star. What's going to get you closer to that star? Can you walk this path on faith? Can you start to move? Can you start to whip the horses forward? And just know that in getting the movement going and trusting in your own intuition, you'll know where to go as you come up to these points of, well, I can't quite see past this point. But once you get up to that point, you can see a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. So you're just being asked to feel. There's a lot of intuitive knowing. This is a lot of getting in touch with your emotions. And I know, Aquarius, sometimes it's very hard for you to do that because you are so cerebral. You are kind of like up in the ether a lot of the time, but I think this month you're going to realize just how much value can come from your emotional side and how much that's going to point the way towards where you want to go. Okay. Sorry guys, I take a drink of water there. All right, so now I'm going to pull 3 additional cards down here. one for the concept of curiosity, one for courage, and one for contemplation. So first, oh, I love it right off the bat. So first, here's one for curiosity, where Spirit would like you to be open and curious to for the month of May. We're going to build a question around this to allow Spirit an avenue to come in and help you answer it, to really illuminate the individual message for you here. So with Cornucopia, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. It speaks to abundance and beauty, and it has the master number 11, which for me is always about opening that doorway between here and Spirit, and really being able to take what is, and by having faith and co-creating with Spirit, we get to take what is through the doors and into the realm of Spirit, where we get to actually elevate our experience. We get to take what we think is all there is, and we get to realize, no, there's so much more. So what I would ask yourself throughout the month of May, as you're trying to figure out, okay, which direction do I go? Can I walk this path on faith? Is this dream one that's worth pursuing? Am I being realistic and leaning into my emotions and following this dream? To really ask yourself that question of what would feel like abundance for you, true abundance, and ultimately, what are you missing in your current environment that you can use to elevate your current experience? What can you build on? Again, if you could take your entire reality right now and walk it through the doors, and it could look shiny and beautiful and magic like this, what would you do with that? Would you move to a new location? Would you take your current job and elevate your role? Would you paint your room? I mean, it could be something simple like that, where you've been sitting kind of just, I'm in an uninspired environment, and you're being asked to elevate your environment so that every day you wake up and you're inspired. Every day you wake up and you see your vision board and you remember, that's what I'm working towards. There's something here about really taking a look at what you have now and elevating it, allowing that energy. It's almost like you're creating for yourself a mini version of what will become your greater reality. And where is that for you? When you think about one aspect of your current physical reality, what is it that you wish would change the most about that? Okay, and now I'm going to pull a second card here for the concept of courage, and this is where Spirit would like you to be courageous in taking action for the month of May, or what to keep in mind to help give you the courage to take action. Let's see, what does Aquarius need to know about the month of May and having the courage to take, oh, I love it. Of course this would come out for you, Aquarius. It says, surrender comparisons with other people. Keep your eyes trained on yourself, focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power. And I love this for you. Aquarius, sometimes you guys get, I think, termed or are seen as the rebellious one, the one who's a little eccentric or out there that no one quite understands fully. And that's who you're supposed to be, Aquarius. You're supposed to show the world what it means to tap into the new, the innovative, the beyond what we currently experience. And yeah, it can be difficult when we feel the call towards something new, when we know in our heart of hearts we want something for ourselves so deeply. But we can look around at others and say, well, am I foolish to want this because I've watched other people who have not achieved this? Or people might call me crazy if I try to do this, or I try to follow this, or I try to follow this with no real roadmap, that I'm just kind of going out there and I'm doing it. And it doesn't matter, because you're a unique individual. And there's a reason why you are uniquely hearing the call, that you're uniquely seeing the light again of the deep hope, dream, or wish that you've always wanted to follow, you've always wanted to experience. And it's there, it's meant for you to experience it. Just focus on your own strengths, attractiveness, and power, and keep taking action. You know, it's almost, I get the feeling of, it's like people in your life might come by as you're building this chariot to connect to your head and your heart horses over here, and people might come by and be like, what are you building? What is that? Why are you building that? That's not even going to work. It's not, you're not putting the wheels in the right place, you're not, the floorboards don't look right, and you're like, no, I have a feeling. I saw it in a vision, and I think this is how I need to do it. And it's almost like you just need to stay true to yourself. As much as you're being asked to go out and connect authentically with others and to celebrate and have fun and be frivolous, I also get this feeling that this month it's not about listening to the opinions of others. There's a lot of cards of going within and really staying in touch with your vision for yourself and emotionally connecting with that so that you can share it with others through this beautiful sense of emotion. People would love, I feel like the Knight of Cups is always like the person you'd love to have come to a party because they're the happy one. They're the one who's going to talk positively about everything. They're the one who's going to be like, let's celebrate this, and who wants to dive into this and talk about this really great discussion topic, that kind of thing. And I get the feeling that people are going to want you to be around them, Aquarius. And as long as you can be confident in sharing with others what you really want for yourself, they're not going to question your vision. They're going to instead embrace it. So that's really what's coming through here as well for me, for you, is that sometimes it's also about sharing what we want from a place of emotion, telling people the why. Why? Because it makes me happy. Why am I building the chariot like this? Because I love it, because it's beautiful, because when I wake up and I look at it every day, even if it only gets me 2 miles down the street before it falls apart, I know I made it, and I'm so proud of myself for it. I'm emotionally connecting to this experience right now. All right, so now I'm going to pull a final card here for the concept of contemplation. And this is going to be where Spirit would like you to reflect on for the month of May. So we have break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. I love this because this really says that you are healing yourself through this. And I do feel that for some of you, there's almost like, I think you thought you had to do something a certain way, or you had to follow something a certain way. And you're realizing, no, you have the ability now to rewrite what you thought was already kind of set in stone for yourself. You have the ability to, again, reach your hand out, turn the handle of that door and open the door again. A door that you thought, I think, maybe was closed to you for forever, or that you maybe felt guilty about trying to open again. And this is saying, no, this time you get to write your future. It's not even rewriting it, it's writing it. You get to write it. You get to take the action today to get yourself there. Beautiful, beautiful spread here, Aquarius. It's going to be a beautiful month of connection, deep knowing, releasing, healing the wounds of the past, and allowing yourself to really have your sort of truth. And I think when you lean into some aspect of your current experience that you can change, alter, and elevate, it will help you see where and how to build this chariot. And by the end of the month, you're going to be on your way. Now, for those of you who'd like to watch the extended, we will actually go further into this chariot, what exactly is going on with this. So we'll pull some cards for that. I'll pull additional cards for the star, the moon, and the 2 of swords. And then we will get further into the energy of romantic love. What are you looking at? What can you expect? What can you prepare for the month of May? Again, if you would like to watch the extended, you can click on the Vimeo link below. Otherwise, if you'd like to book a personal reading or a one-on-one tarot reading or self-illumination session, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, Aquarius, I hope you have a wonderfully illuminating, loving, and emotionally full and connective month of May, and I look forward to reading for you again in June's Illumination reading. Bye, Aquarius.